Welcome to This Explainer. So, what exactly is good judgment, if not the ability to think clearly, act strategically, and make sound decisions? Well, today we are going to transform how you make those decisions. We're going to help you build a strategic genius's mental toolkit. We'll be exploring some incredibly powerful, pre-designed frameworks that you can use to analyze literally any situation and achieve your goals in the most efficient way possible. Take a listen to this. I spent my 20s working very hard to build my career, only to lose it all due to a series of bad judgments. Wow, that perfectly captures a trap so many of us fall into, right? We often ruin years of hard work by making emotionally driven choices that we then try to justify with flawed logic. But the good news? By applying mental models, which are really just the basic principles of strategic thinking, you can completely fix this. And don't worry, these aren't overly complicated mathematical formulas. In fact, you're probably already using a few of them without even realizing it. Okay, let's dive right into this masterclass. We're going to group our 10 mental tools into 4 distinct compartments of your brand new strategic tool belt. 1. Laying the strategic foundation. 2. Deconstructing complex problems. 3. Maximizing efficiency and clarity. And 4. Navigating unpredictable human elements. Starting off with Section 1, laying the strategic foundation, specifically internal self-awareness. You simply cannot strategize effectively without first understanding the lens through which you view the world. Tool number 1, the map is not the territory. You see, the representation of reality in your head is completely filtered through your own unique experiences, beliefs, and biases. Think of it like relying on an outdated offline map for a road trip. It doesn't account for new road closures or detours, so you'll end up miles off course. You absolutely cannot blindly trust your ingrained assumptions when you're navigating conflicts or, say, making a career transition. If you're in a disagreement, instead of blindly assuming you're right, step back and ask yourself, wait, what am I missing here? You have to understand their map to find common ground. Moving to tool number 2, we have the circle of competence. Warren Buffett really hit the nail on the head here when he said, know your limits. When you are wandering outside of your circle of competence, you are going to get creamed. Strategic geniuses don't waste time trying to be good at everything. Highly successful entrepreneurs double down on their natural strengths, and they hire experts to handle everything else that falls outside their circle. Acknowledge your weaknesses, delegate them, and aggressively play to your strengths. All right, let's move to Section 2. Deconstructing complex problems using analytical tools. This is where we separate the average thinkers from the truly strategic ones. Let's break down those really tough obstacles. Tool 3 is first principles thinking. This is about stripping problems down to their absolute fundamental truths, much like breaking a giant structure down into individual Lego bricks. This is exactly how Elon Musk analyzed SpaceX rocket costs. He didn't just accept the industry standard price tag, he analyzed the raw materials and built the solution from the ground up. And you can use this for anything. Want to lose 20 pounds? Don't blindly follow a generic diet. Break it down to first principles. Identify the problem, deconstruct elements like calories in versus out, examine fundamentals like sustainable exercise, and then build a new personalized solution from the ground up. Which brings us to tool 4, second-order thinking. This forces you to ask one simple but incredibly powerful question. And then what? It basically forces you to act like a pro pool player who anticipates the chain reaction of the cue ball, rather than an amateur who's only focused on sinking the immediate shot in front of them. You absolutely must look at the ripple effects of your decisions. Because to avoid common traps, you really have to look past step 1. You need to think beyond immediate outcomes, anticipate unintended consequences, consider the larger picture, and evaluate the long-term impact. For example, say you want a new car. A first-order thinker only sees the immediate thrill of driving it off the lot, but a second-order thinker evaluates the long-term impact, like the monthly budget hit, the ongoing insurance costs, the depreciation. Thinking multiple steps ahead prevents those unintended painful consequences down the road.
Okay, tool 5 is the thought experiment. Simply put, this is a hypothetical mental simulation used to explore implications, challenge your assumptions, and foster creativity without actually taking physical action. Think of it as a metaphorical small hammer that can break a diamond. Because Einstein couldn't practically test his ideas, he used thought experiments, like imagining himself chasing a beam of light, to develop the theory of relativity. You can use this exact same concept to mentally test drive major life decisions. Thinking of quitting your job to start a business? Well, don't just quit. Run the best, worst, and neutral case scenarios in your head first to gauge how prepared you truly are. Next up, tool 6, inversion.
F. Scott Fitzgerald noted that first-read intelligence holds two opposed ideas at once. Inversion simply means looking at a problem backward. Instead of asking how to achieve a desired output, flip it. Ask, how do I avoid an undesirable outcome? This flip literally saved Airbnb. Back in 2009, their revenue had flatlined at just $200 a week. They stopped asking, how do we get more customers, and inverted it to, why are people not booking? This instantly revealed that hosts were using terrible amateurish photos. So the founders grabbed cameras, flew to New York, upgraded the photos, and well, the rest is history. All right, compartment number 3, maximizing efficiency and clarity. This is all about cutting through the noise and working faster in a world full of distractions. Tool 7 is Occam's razor. You've probably heard this one. It states that the simplest explanation is usually the correct one. The classic saying is, if you hear hoofbeats, think horses, not zebras. We overcomplicate things all the time. But consider this. When your home internet abruptly drops, do you instantly assume there's a nationwide, highly sophisticated cyber attack? Of course not. You go check to see if your router got unplugged. Strategic geniuses train themselves to focus on the simplest, most straightforward solutions first, because that's usually where the answer is hiding. And that leads us perfectly into Tool 8, the Pareto Principle, also known as the 80-20 rule. It reveals a universal truth that 20% of causes lead to 80% of the effects. A tiny 20% slice of your inputs generates a massive 80% of your results. If you're running a business, 20% of your customers likely generate 80% of your revenue, so focus on them. If you want to declutter, you probably only wear 20% of your wardrobe 80% of the time. Identify your vital few actions and prioritize them to achieve some truly extraordinary efficiency. Finally, we reach our 4th section, navigating unpredictable human elements. Let's look at how to handle unpredictability, human error, and total chaos. Tool 9 is Hanlon's razor. I love this one. It states, never attribute to malice that which is adequately explained by stupidity, or, ignorance, or a simple misunderstanding. How often do we jump to conclusions that someone is intentionally out to get us, only to realize later there was a perfectly innocent explanation? This is an absolutely essential framework for choosing empathy over suspicion. By giving people the benefit of the doubt, you avoid unnecessary arguments and dramatically reduce your own anxiety in both your life and your business. And our final mental model, Tool 10, Murphy's Law. Anything that can go wrong will go wrong. Now, hold on, this isn't just blind pessimism. It's actually a highly valuable tool for risk planning. True genius lies in adapting to uncertainty. You can't necessarily stop a wildfire from burning down a house, but Murphy's Law is the reason we proactively buy fire insurance. It's the reason we diversify our cryptocurrency investments rather than dumping our entire life savings into a single trending coin. You have to expect the curveballs. So, what does this all mean for us? The crucial point here is that being proactive is infinitely greater than being reactive. Implementing these 10 tools transforms you from a reactive participant in life to a proactive, strategic genius. A strategic genius doesn't just cross their fingers and hope for the best. They anticipate, they simplify, they deconstruct, and they navigate reality exactly as it actually is. As we wrap up this explainer, I want to leave you with a provocative question to ponder. Which of these 10 mental tools will you use first today? Are you going to seek to expand your circle of competence? Will you invert a problem that's been nagging you for weeks? Your tool belt is totally full, but the true test of a strategic genius is knowing exactly which instrument to pull out first to completely reshape your future. So choose wisely and start building.